get decorating and create these adorable mini cookies. So all the supplies that you'll need are the uniced baked cookies. You've gotten 16 of them, 2 of each design. You have a bunch of different colors here. You have some white, pink, yellow, green, purple, and red, and then of course some fun sprinkles with 2 scribes. Now you'll also need to grab a pair of scissors and a napkin or paper towel. So let's get started. All right, so our first step is just simply practicing, because practice does make perfect, especially in cookies. So before we jump right on the cookies, you have a practice sheet in front of you, and we're just gonna go down all of the different shapes and lines and just build on our technique so we learn how to do that first. So once you have your practice sheet in front of you, go ahead and grab any color. I suggest a color other than white, simply so that you can see it on the paper. Now to cut your bag, you just want to place the seam of the bag facing the ceiling, and then squeeze a little bit of the icing to the tip of the icing bag. And these are tipless bags, so this will create a really nice oval or round tip that you can then pipe on. So once you have placed your bag up, you just want to cut the tip off just a little bit, and then you're all set there. And then you can even test it on like a napkin. Then what you want to do is, I always like to start at the top of the paper so that your hand doesn't drag into your icing. And you would anchor your icing by just squeezing a little bit and then slowly pulling it. You're actually not dragging your piping tip on your cookie or this paper. It's just slightly above. And I like to use my other hand to guide. And when you hold that piping bag, you're going to be holding it so that it kind of just cups right into your hand, and then you're squeezing with your fingers. So you want to anchor it and then slowly pull it while you're squeezing. Now you can do a few lines. The dots are just simply anchor it and then squeeze up. Because this icing has been thinned out a little bit, you won't get that Hershey Kiss look. And then you can do some of your squiggles as well. Now this is super intricate, where you just have to move ever so slightly up and down to get that curve. And then whenever you are done doing that, you then will be ready to do the shapes. So this is simply anchor your icing and use the same technique as far as squeezing, re-anchoring it to the cookie once the shape turns. Just repeating that process. You can do this as often as you'd like, and you can even practice on a tissue or on a paper towel, and then we'll get ready for the cookies. Before we get started, you're going to want to massage your bags just a little bit, incorporating any of the color that may have separated. And then you want to make sure you cut them just like we did earlier in the video, where you're just gonna snip that top off. And then you're gonna wanna also cut your green bag. Now your green bag is gonna be creating these beautiful little leaves. So you're gonna wanna take it, the seam facing the ceiling, you're gonna squeeze the icing to the tip of the bag, and then you're gonna wanna cut an angle off of each side. So once you've cut one angle, flip your bag and cut the other angle, creating a point. And then once you pipe it in, it's going to give you that leaf-looking design. So now that all your bags are cut and you're ready to work, we're going to ice the bottom of the pineapple first. So take your yellow bag, and you're going to want to ice the cookie by just outlining it first, much like we practiced earlier. And then squeezing more icing in, but following the outline to flood the cookie. Then take your scribe, and you might need to flip your cookie a little because these are so many. You might need to just hold it and wiggle your icing down and around in small swirly motions. And then you can even shake it a little if you need to. And then we're gonna jump right into use the bag that we just cut. So remember, you're gonna wanna make sure that your tip for that bag is squeezed together, similar to that. And then you're just gonna wanna put the outside on first. You're just gonna make this squeezing up, pulling motion. It's like up and down. And then do the center as well. Now these don't have to be perfect because they're leaves. You wanna have some character on them. So go ahead and pause the video at this point and we will come back and work on the strawberry. So we're gonna jump right into the strawberry next. So make sure you have your red bag cut and ready. Go ahead and outline your cookie by anchoring the icing on and then following the shape of the cookie. And then fill it in by outlining as well, but just adding more pressure. And because this cookie's mini again, remember you can flip it and hold it from one angle. Using little swirling motions, move that icing around. You can tap it just to get it all set. And then I like putting these little dots in, kind of like the seeds of the strawberry. And you did practice dots earlier, so you can just let them fall right into the icing. Just a tiny bit of pressure will kind of bring that icing out, and then you won't have to squeeze too hard. It'll create a nice little dot. Remember to guide your hand as you go. Then we're going to do the same leaf concept that we did with the pineapple on the strawberry. So working on the outside, you're going to squeeze down. These are just really mini leaves. You're all set. Go ahead and pause the video and work on that cookie. Our next design will be the cupcake. So we're going to flood the base of the cupcake with some red icing. So go ahead and outline that. Flood that in. And move that icing around with your scribe. And then we're going to do the top of the cupcake with the white icing. So vanilla ice cupcake. And remember to outline again, but using more pressure. Using your scribe to just move that icing around. And this is the fun part because you get to add sprinkles to the cookie. But you know you can add sprinkles to any of the designs. These are just my recommendations. Grab a little bit of sprinkles and add them. And oh my God, this sprinkle got there, but that's okay because we can just kind of move it up and reposition it, or you can pull it out all together. Now the cupcake has a liner. So you can kind of add the little dots on there. And then I'm gonna just go over the top part, creating that a little bit cleaner, like creating like a base. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and work on that cookie. Our next cookie today will be this adorable little flower. You can ice it in any color, but I'm gonna stick with the purple and the pink. So outline it with your pink. And then flood it with your purple. Be very careful not to nick the icing of the pink so that you don't distort the outline. Use your scribe to kind of move it around. Just be very, very careful. And then we want to take some of this pink again, and you can either put a dot or you can do this swirl here. And you can leave the swirl if you want, or you can go in and you can just give it another little bit of a swirl. Just add to the cookie. And there you have it. So go ahead and pause the video and work on that cookie. Our next cookie will be the heart, and you can add sprinkles or you can do it a solid color, whatever you'd like. I'm gonna do this solid color with this little white accent. So be sure to anchor your icing, outline your cookie. And you can always go back. I messed up that outline right there. Always go back and re-outline just to keep the shape a little bit more. And then go in with the flood icing. Remember to outline first and then add your flood. And then just take your scribe and move around your icing. Now you can go in with some sprinkles or you can add this little detail there. Super simple. Go ahead and pause the video. We'll start the next cookie. Our next cookie is going to be a balloon because you know it's not a party without a balloon there. So we're going to ice this in white. And then we're going to fill it in. Now this balloon is going to be really cool because we're going to add this really fun swirl look and pull through motion. Using our scribe, move that icing around. And then you can pick two colors. I'm gonna do this pink and this purple and just make a few lines. So do like 2 lines of pink and 3 lines of purple. In between the pink line. And you can stop there if you want, or you can keep going and getting the swirl motion, which is just simply pulling through and then swirling up. The whimsical look to it. And then you can even add some fun little dots just to add a little bit of character to the balloon. There you go. So go ahead and pause the video and we'll work on the last 2 designs. So we're just going to base ice the star and add the dots, similar to the strawberry, and then we're gonna do what we did to the cupcake, which we just iced 2 different colors for the ice cream cones, and then add some sprinkles. So let's start with the star. Just remember to outline and anchor the icing, and at every turn, you're just anchoring the icing again. You're not scraping the cookie with the bag, you're just letting it fall onto the cookie. Fill that in. Use your scribe to kind of move the icing around. Then go in with some dots. So you can do all the dots in the center first, and then you can go in between. Do the same thing on the outside just to kind of give it that random, organized look. And then the last one will be the top part here, which is the ice cream cone. Remember to anchor the icing at each turn. Use your scribe to move around the icing after you have filled it in. We'll do the bottom part in white. And fill that in by outlining and filling it in again. And adding a little bit of sprinkles. So we have one more finishing touch to do on the pineapple, but go ahead and pause the video and complete those cookies. Now we're back where we started, so grab that pineapple because we're gonna put the final touches on it. So just take your yellow bag, and your icing has dried enough so where this icing will sit on top. You're just gonna create those diagonal lines. And then you're gonna go in the opposite direction. there you have it. So I hope this brought you a lot of joy, and I would love to see your pictures of your cookies. Have a great one.